everyone, this is ICO Talk. My name is Yelena. Today my guest is Patrick Dees, co-founder of Fan-Controlled Football League. Hello Patrick, thanks for joining us.
Sure, thanks for having me. This is exciting.
Okay, so first of all, please tell us about your project and what is the main idea behind it.
Oh, great question. So we at Fan-Controlled Football League, we believe that sports has been underserved from a technology perspective for a very long time. And we set out to give fans like unparalleled access and control of their sports entertainment experience. So essentially what we're building is a league in which fans control every single aspect of American football, right? It's 8 teams, and we're fundamentally changing how football works. So we're streamlining it. We're making games each about an hour long, so they're fast and accessible, but fans get to choose every aspect of the season, right? So for every single one of those 8 teams, fans will be able to choose the logo, the mascot, the colors, who coaches the team, the players that actually play on that team, and then absolutely during the course of the game, they call plays in real time like they're playing a video game. So we call it Madden in real life. So as you watch, you call plays, you lead your team to victory. There's no longer this excuse to blame the head coach of the team or any of those things. We want to give fans the chance to participate in every aspect.
Okay, but will you please precise what is the role of blockchain in this?
So I think that's a really, really great question. So blockchain provides a ledger, right? So this immutable ledger, this transparency that we need for our fans to understand that every vote is the way we said it would be. We had a proof of concept team last year, which was not run on the blockchain. We just took votes. We had one team, and it was one team in a traditional football league, right? This was this proof of concept. We wanted to build out the application. We wanted to be able to prove out that fans can call plays in real time. And when we realized we needed to involve this blockchain technology was last year. So we had a gentleman named Greg Hardy. He was in the NFL, and not the best guy, was convicted of some drug charges, domestic abuse charges, not the best kind of guy, and actually had left the NFL. But our team, the Screaming Eagles in Salt Lake, we were in the IFL last year, had been getting a lot of headlines. We were in Sports Illustrated and ESPN and kind of everywhere. We had a whole page in the New York Times. And so Greg wanted to really, rehabilitate his image. He wanted to get back in a team that was getting a lot of press. And so we decided, in true to form, right, we wanted fans to be able to participate in that decision, right? Like, it wasn't just for us. He would immediately make that team the best team in the whole league. But we said, hey, fans, you choose. So we put out the vote, and it ended up being 51.1 to 49.9% against. And people couldn't believe it, right? Like, they genuinely didn't believe that we would ever, that fans would say no to that. But legitimately, fans said no. And so blockchain provides this ledger that says, hey, look, here are those votes, and you'll be able to, we want transparency with our fans. And again, additionally, we've tokenized a lot of mechanics that we already had in the app last year. So as you go calling plays and interacting with the ecosystem, essentially you would earn what we called, again, with this proof of concept team last year, we called it Fan IQ. So you just go earning this IQ, and as you go, your vote counts for more, right? We believe that everybody gets a vote, but not every vote is created equal. And so people who were participating in the app, watching games, calling plays, voting on players and coaches and things, their fan IQ increased. And so essentially what we said was, look, this is a great application for blockchain, right? And being able to tokenize it, right? So all of that in-game economy makes sense, and we want to be able to provide that transparency to our fans.
Okay, I see. That's great. And tell us, please, a little bit about the history of the project and the team of the project. When was it launched? Who's got the idea of it, and why this particular idea?
Yeah, well, it's something we're really excited about, right? So we've been thinking about this for the better part of 5 years. So we've, again, forever said that sports was underserved from a technology perspective, and we set out years ago to start creating that team. We had a team in the AFL that ultimately we weren't able to implement a lot of things that we wanted to. And this really took off about 2015. So essentially we met, I'm one of the co-founders, and Patrick Dees. Sohrob Farudi is our CEO, co-founder. We met another gentleman who who played in the NFL, who had been working on for years. His name's Ray Austin. He played in New York and Chicago, and he'd been working on a real-time play calling application that where we were working in parallel. We invited him to come work with us to do this. We met another gentleman who 7 years ago had created something called Project Franchise, where he had the idea of actually having fans involve baseball, a really highly accomplished entrepreneur. And so we all got together and said, hey, this is something that we want to do. So last year, we bought the rights to an indoor football team in the IFL. And essentially, we approached the league and said, hey, we want fans to run this team start to finish. And they said, totally. The commissioner was, I think he's probably 35. He looks like he's 14. He just gets technology, you know. And he said, yeah, absolutely. So we had a list of 5 cities that worked kind of in that geography. And we let fans choose where we played, right? Fans voted on the city inside kind of their geographical restrictions. They chose the city. And then we let fans choose our name. So we let fans vote. I mean, the suggestions that came in around the name were incredible. We were, wanted to be the Storm and Mormons. They chose Salt Lake, right? So, of course, one of the first names in was Storm and Mormons and the Spaghetti Monsters and all these crazy ideas that you would think. We were actually almost called, do you remember a couple years ago in the UK, there was a really famous, there was a cruise line. It was like a seafaring expedition that the UK launched, and they let their citizens name the boat. I don't know if you remember this.
No,
and of course, because it was the internet, they named it Bodie McBoatface. And so the UK was like, no, sorry, we'll name it like Queen Elizabeth XV or whatever. And so we were almost named as an homage to that. We were almost named Teamy McTeamface, which I personally kind of would have loved because the merch would have been awesome and it would have proven out what we, that we were legitimately listening to the fans. We landed on Screamy Eagles. So you can see a lot of the games still up on Twitch, twitch.tv/interactive football if you want to see some of those games. But we had a team that was, again, they chose our logo, our mascot, our colors. They chose our cheerleaders, and they chose our head coach. They chose fans, plays in real time. We finished with the 3rd best offense in the entire league. And it really proved that concept out. It was incredibly exciting. We I mentioned Twitch, but about game 3 or 4, we launched on the Twitch platform and we let fans call plays in real time through the Twitch chat. I don't know if you're familiar with Twitch, but you're able to chat, and we build in some technology that fans could just watch and just chat and choose to play. It was very akin to Twitch-based Pokemon, if you ever saw that. So it's very exciting to kind of see the power of the crowd. And like I said, we finished with the 3rd best offense of the league, and we definitely proved out the concept of the application. And here we are deciding that it can't just be one team will never really thrive. It has to be all the teams in the ecosystem. So we decided to kind of leave that league. We're taking the Screaming Eagles with us. So we're launching an 8-team league. One team will be that legacy team. We're going to keep the Screaming Eagles because it's near and dear to our hearts. But then 7 more teams will be created, once we get through our token sale. We're going to start building out and letting fans participate in the creation of these, in the identity of these teams, right? Really feel ownership over and excitement about a team they got to vote on, all of this stuff.
Okay. And I wonder if there are any similar projects on the market, because I personally have never heard about something like this before. And if there are any, what are your differences and advantages over them?
Oh, great question. There isn't a lot like it, especially when we started out. There was nothing like this. Right now, there is another one called, I believe it's called Your Call Football. It's a little bit different. So Your Call Football is essentially, they're just 2 teams, and they're 2 teams that are going to travel and play each other over and over. It's akin to like the Harlem Globetrotters and the Washington Generals, if you're familiar with that like kind of traveling show. Mm-hmm. It's similar in the sense that you'll be able to call plays. What we're doing, and it's also an outdoor game, right? So they're playing outdoor. We're playing indoor football, which is 7-on-7. So it's very fast. And we are doing all 8 teams in one geography. So we don't travel anywhere. So kind of the history of football is you kind of align yourself with the team that's close to you, right? Like I live in Los Angeles. I normally, if I were born and raised here, I'd be a Rams fan or whatever. But what we're doing is we're doing something similar to, I don't know, maybe like Harry Potter or Pokemon Go, right? Like you have no allegiance to any of those colors, but you get to choose. I want to be the blue guys or I want to be the red guys. You choose a team and you align yourself with that team. And then you get it's more than you just get to align yourself with it, right? You get to help create that identity. Once you found something in that team ethos or that team identity that resonates with you, you get to help shape that from who plays, who starts, who the coach is, and then again, you're calling plays in real time. So we're different in the sense that we're building out a whole league, a whole ecosystem. We're leveraging that blockchain technology, and I think that people will really enjoy the game. We want it to be accessible. I don't know if you've ever watched an American football game on Sunday, but they're 3.5 hours. They're whole ordeals. We want fans to be able to be in and out in an hour. We want this game to be fast, high scoring, and to be accessible. If you want, you can watch all day and all of the games. But if you want just your team, we want it to be very similar to a video game experience. In fact, we're having drones. We're playing all of our games, not in an arena, but it's almost more of a set. We're going to have a small studio audience, but it's going to be the state-of-the-art football facility. We'll have drone cameras all over. So one of the key angles will actually be a behind the quarterback view, like you're playing Madden. Again, we want it to be like a video game. We want fans to feel like they're in control and have more exciting angles and access to the players.
That sounds great. Absolutely. Okay. Let's now speak a little bit about your ICO.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. First of all, tell us what is the soft cap and the hard cap of the main sale.
So right now we're just in our public pre-sale. We're actually the first token sale that ever occurred on Indiegogo. So we are, you can find us very easily in the FCFL on Indiegogo and on Micro Ventures. So we're doing, we're calling it a $5 million for the pre-sale. I think we're going to land on the hard cap on our public sale, which will occur kind of late January. We're still kind of looking at some of that stuff right now. So pre-sale's up right now. There's a 25% discount on tokens through Indiegogo. You can find it just, again, at indiegogo.com. And it'll link off to our micro venture site.
Mm-hmm. And what is the hard cap for the main sale?
I think we're looking at about $30 million. I think we're still kind of landing on some of that.
Okay, and tell us about the roadmap, please. What for do you need this particular sum?
And it's a great question. So we are different from a lot of other ICOs where it's just an algorithm and a dream. We actually have a team and we already have a platform, right? So we've already built the technology for real-time play calling and all of those things. The raise is around helping us getting the teams in the production studio. So obviously it takes quite a bit to be able to put together this world-class studio. This is the best-in-class technology. So we're hiring production teams. We've been working with some amazing groups that have produced some incredible shows in different parts of the country. So we need to land on production facilities, production partners, uniforms. Really the building out of that league is what most of this use of funds will go to. Additionally, raising awareness, those types of things, marketing the league and whatnot. So that's where that comes from.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I see. And a little bit more in details about your tokens. What are the key benefits for your token holders?
Awesome question. So the tokens are actually, like we talked a little bit about in our proof of concept team, we had that fan IQ. So fan tokens give you increased voting power. So that when you purchase tokens, you're able to have a bigger influence on the team that you choose, right? So the more tokens you have, the more influence you have in the ecosystem, the more weight your vote counts. So it depends on just how much you want to participate. But again, it gives you increased voting power. Now, you will be able to earn a small amount of tokens, so they're not all just for sale. Like any video game, you can earn them. That's a lot harder to earn them. Essentially, we've got a small reserve for each one of the 3 seasons of tokens that will be given to fans as they participate. So, and we're still landing on kind of the mechanics there, but we have an allotment to say, hey, you've participated, you've been watching, you've been calling plays, and you'll be able to earn them at a very, very slow rate. So the idea of getting tokens now would be to make sure that there is a finite number of tokens. We want people to be able to be in and have the tokens to be able to start participating now, because as soon as the pre-sale ends, we're going to start with some of those branding exercises, right? So logos and colors and all those things that I think will end up really mattering to people about their favorite sports team. So that's why we're encouraging people to get in now, start being able to participate in the creation of these teams as opposed to waiting for the season.
Okay, I see. And what do you personally think about the future of the ICO market in the world in general?
I think it's a challenge. So first of all, I think we're big blockchain advocates, right? Like we think I think ICOs are a tremendous opportunity and allows you. For us, it very much feels very consistent with the spirit of what we're building, right? Like we are building decentralized football. We are building one-to-one communication between fans and players. And I think it is so consistent with so it excited us, right? Like obviously it is an amazing fit for fan-controlled football. I think people should take a very close and ask questions that you're asking about, when they start looking at some of the ICOs. But I think obviously some regulations coming, and I think that's a good thing for everybody involved. But I still think that the market's really exciting. I think investors and ICOs need to choose things that they're passionate about. Make sure that you're vetting the team. Like and their advisors. We've been lucky enough to have an incredible group of advisors, right? Lee Stephen Arioff, the founder of Ethereum's on our advisory board, and also guys like Andy Dolich. He's the COO of the San Francisco 49ers for years, right? Like, so we've got kind of sports, media, and blockchain crypto advisors on our advisory board. So I think you look at the founding members, you look at their bios, and you take a really hard look at the advisory boards. But I still think it's a tremendous opportunity for people. So we're obviously very bullish on it.
Okay. And just to sum it up in 1 or 2 sentences, in very, very brief, why shall I invest in Fan Control Football League?
I think it's so hard for me to be brief. I get excited. I talk about everything, but very succinctly, you should invest in fan control football. If you love football, if you love the idea of participating in sports and having your voice be heard, if you want to be part of the action in real time and genuinely be able to impact a sporting event, this is the project for you.
Okay, Patrick, then thank you so much for being with us today and for this interview. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. And again, find us on Indiegogo.com.
Okay, and I remind you that today my guest was Patrick Dees, co-founder of Fan Controlled Football League. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch more interesting videos. Bye-bye.